And we're back as usual. Hello.
Hey, that opener screen was a little appropriate, I think. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I actually am not doing good.
Oh,
See, I've been thinking a lot about the holidays coming up, and this being the holiday season, and it just dawned, just started rolling around in my head that we don't celebrate it like we used to. We
no.
don't. We don't. When I say we, I don't mean just my family. I see it a lot. It's gone from something people look forward to something people dread. And
Yeah, but there's one more step too, or it's something that it's expected.
well,
You
yeah,
know?
that too. I mean, whatever. I can remember when, even when my kids were little, and they used to give me give us presents that they made in class. Um, one time, one year, one of my sons gave me a donkey made out of clothespins that they made in class.
That's cool.
And I loved it. And I remember when we were in school, we used to take balloons and I think it was starch and like not yarn, but like rope, but not rope. You know what I'm saying? It's like really thin rope,
Yeah, like
almost.
twine.
Yeah, and we used to wrap it around the balloon until it
Hmm.
dried. Then we'd pop the balloon, spray
Right,
paint it, and put a little manger thing in there with some Easter grass, and call it a Christmas ornament.
right. But that was something you guys could do together. That's cool.
Now it's, if you don't spend $80 on one Christmas ornament, you're not enjoying Christmas.
Right. That goes the same with the gifts too. It's like it just seems like there's a certain expectation where I'm not saying that anyone I would send anything to would be upset regardless what I sent, but there's still that you know what if you like there's been times where my wife and I have skipped years in rough times. It's been rough, man. Can't afford it, you know. So we'll make it a point to not make sure that someone doesn't surprise the other with something when you know what I mean. So we've
I
done that a
do.
couple of times.
I
We
do.
met, but we do stuff throughout the year. It's
That's
almost
when you yeah, but
unnecessary.
that's when you make coupon books and say, this is good for one back massage whenever you want.
Sure, IOUs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
And then
those.
they can
Got a few of
cash it
those.
in whenever they want.
Almost.
But what I'm seeing is, first of all, I was looking at trees, like artificial trees that you can buy, pre-lit trees.
Hmm.
They have gotten so expensive and so far away from what a traditional artificial tree should look like.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen them in red and blue and pink and yellow and green, and it's like, why do you?
You
It's
might as well
not.
just make something yourself at home. You know,
Yeah, I mean, just draw a picture on a wall, on a piece of paper, tack it on a wall, and say it's your Christmas tree. It doesn't make sense.
no
It
doubt.
doesn't make sense to me. Where can you ever go and find a purple tree? I don't,
Right.
and this is what you get.
I didn't. I never cared for the silver tree either.
And if you don't buy the most expensive gift that you can find for somebody, it's not great.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But
that's okay.
in,
Oh,
in,
you got
in
this on
me,
Amazon? Oh,
yeah, yeah. Oh, I saw these at Target for $8. Oh, well, okay, great. But
right.
all right, whatever. It doesn't matter what. I never thought of the. I never thought of the financial aspect of a gift. I always thought of the practical aspect. If
Right.
it's something that you want or something that you can use, then that's something I'm going to get you. If it's something that you want because it's expensive,
Hmm.
you can go get that yourself.
Right. Right.
You know, um, I don't. When it comes to presents, like I bought my daughter the other 2 years ago. couldn't figure out what to get her, and then I remember the conversation. So I bought her one of those speakers that light up with sound.
Yeah, I've seen them. Those are cool.
Loved it,
Hmm.
absolutely loved it. I get my son a bunch of stuff for his computer. I got him a new light up keyboard, light up mouse, a riser, headphones, the whole 9 yards.
That's cool.
I didn't spend a fortune on it,
But you knew what
but
you were getting though too.
it's something that he was thrilled with because it's something he needed.
Right.
I could
Keyboards
have.
aren't cheap though, man. As I've come to
Eh,
find out with this thing I bought. Oh my
it
god.
depends on what you're looking for and where you go.
That is true. I couldn't deal with those other keys. Hey, if you know anyone who needs a keyboard, I have two, brand new. One's still in the box. Great
But
first keyboard for someone.
but my thing is, when did the price of the gift become the important part?
Yeah, right.
I I've never. Maybe it's me because I've never cared about money. I've had
Yeah,
it. I've had it, and I've lost
mm,
it, and I've been happy either way.
right. Me too. No, I'm happier with it. Much happier with it. But I don't let it rule me. It doesn't own me. I'm happy with it, but I'm still happy now that I don't have the ability to do some of those things. So I'm with you on that.
And I don't know. It just seems like we've forgotten where we started, and we just look at where everyone else thinks where everyone else pretends to be, and it makes us go, but I want to be like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Because that they're struggling, but they're putting out the effort to look like they're not.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
And it just, I mean, that's like you see the guy driving around in a nice car and a nice suit, and then you go to his house and there's mold and rats all inside because he can't afford anything else, but he's
Right,
looking like he's important.
right.
you know and,
It's a
and
facade, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I don't understand what the purpose is, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Exactly that. It's a facade. The person wants to appear that they have an opulent lifestyle, yet they don't. You know. So no, none of this person's friends would ever go to his house. He would always visit them or bring them somewhere in that nice vehicle that he's got, or whatever.
Speaking of opulent lifestyles, Donald Trump does that. He
Yeah.
claims he has a lot more money than he does. He spends other people's money for things that for himself, like that, like when he took the money from the charity to buy himself a portrait of himself,
Yeah.
to give the
Right.
appearance that he's well to do.
Hmm.
When in actuality, he's not as well to do as he puts off.
I think he's barely making payments on things. I would not be surprised.
And you have examples like this out in the public, and people go, "Well, he can do this, then I should be able to do a quarter of that."
Right.
And it just, I don't
Art of the
know.
steal.
Well, that's it. I mean, he's not a very good businessman.
No.
He's not a good.
People give him the power he has. Otherwise, he doesn't have any. It's only the people around him. Somehow he picked up a base of people. That's where his power comes from. It comes from a donation of people.
And
You know.
and I think that's what happens with all these people who put on the facade. My daughter was hooked on that for a while, and I would offer to give her rides, and she'd be like, "Are we taking your car?" "Yeah, why?" "I don't want to be seen in your car. That's it's a piece of crap." I'm like, "Gets you from point A to point B. We drove it all the way down to Florida and back. I don't see what the issue is, but it's got
Wow.
dents in it." "Okay."
Right.
You know,
I've had many. I
you
used to
know,
buy
and,
my cars directly out of a junkyard.
yeah, and,
$50. Drive it
yeah.
for a year, bring it back, get 20, $30 in metal for it, and spend
I
20,
spent two hundred
$30 in another
dollars on a
car.
car, and it lasted. I spent $200 on a car. It lasted me 5 years, and it got me up and down the East Coast and part of the Midwest.
Yeah.
And I never complained, but it was like, it's not a BMW.
Mm,
It's not a Lexus.
right.
You know, and this whole thing about material shit
Hmm.
is what's putting us in this problem of inflation.
A lot of it's
You know,
artificial too.
oh yeah, but it's again, it goes back to the
Yeah.
monetary and material bullshit. The oil companies want money. They don't need it.
No.
They want it. Why? So they can flash their yachts and their mansions.
Right. And their large bank accounts. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's why we're stuck in this inflation. Yes, prices are starting to drop on a lot of things. Yes.
Right.
But that's not because we've changed our lifestyle. It's because people can't afford it, so they have to drop the price.
Right.
You know? And to me, it I just wish that people could be who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you got to, if you're you can't afford an Armani suit, don't buy one at the expense of others in your family or
Don't
other
buy one.
expenses that you need.
Just don't even buy one. Don't look. Don't look. I think that's what the problem people have is they look for things that they know they can't afford. I don't look for shit until I have a need. When I have a need for something, then I start to look for something.
Right.
I don't want an advertisement on somewhere I'm looking to create a need I really don't have. And that's what a lot of this pinpoint advertising does. I turn all that shit off. I don't care if you send me ads that don't interest me because I don't look at them anyway. It's dangerous.
True. But I see a lot of stories of, but it makes me feel better. It's good for
Mhm.
my mental health. No, it's not, because you're going to suffer in the long run.
Mhm.
It may be instant gratification, but what happens after that?
Right. If
You
you
know,
like roses, grow some.
buy some artificial ones so you don't have to keep buying them all the time.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to put in the effort, or you can't because of some disability, buy artificial flowers.
Yep. I grow them, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're not hard. It's not hard to do. Even buy them already growing.
Dude, I rented a house one time. We were renting a house, and they grew on the side of the house like weeds.
Yeah.
And we would cut them down, and they would grow back. They would climb up the trellis.
Yeah, those things called seeds.
And we didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They were mini roses or something. And it's the point of, don't make excuses for purchases. Just don't purchase it.
Yeah.
Don't try to rationalize it. That's the thing. To say, well, I had to get this because otherwise I wouldn't have this, and then this wouldn't work, and it's no. That's not how it works. It's not how any of this works.
Right.
And then it brings people, and then because of the cost of everything and the feeling that everyone has to spend so much on all their friends and family on the holidays, that it brings on depression and anxiety.
I am curious though, which you can't answer this, or
Maybe I can.
They'll have to. No, I'm curious what people that are of various ages, some that are like maybe in their 20s or early 20s or 30s right now, what it was like for them when they were kids. I know what it was like for me. We chopped down our own tree. I don't remember places where there weren't many that you could go buy them already cut, or you'd go to a place and, they would do it for you or whatever.
Well,
Um,
some of my kids are still in their 30s, actually early 30s.
mm,
And I could tell you that we put up an artificial tree.
mhm,
I'd spend, $500 on each kid,
mhm.
and I had 6 kids.
Jeez.
I'd spend $500 on each kid, and they'd be happy. They were thrilled with everything they got.
Mm,
Then somewhere along the line, some of them developed, I want to almost say snobbishness when it comes to presents.
mm.
It's like, this is it? This is all you got me?
Hmm. No, I never. Fortunately, that wasn't something I ever saw in my family. We messed with one of my brothers once. That was fun.
What'd you do?
Box and a box and a box and a box. And
Right.
a box, all the way down to a roll of toilet paper. Yeah.
Oh, no, we put a pebble in one.
No, not that small of a box.
No, like a rock about this big.
Yeah. Needless to say, he wasn't very happy about that.
Needless to say, he said, okay, this is really cute. Now, where's my real present?
Yeah, right. Oh, no. Everybody was always. It was a rare to get a gag present. It's just something. It was necessary for him for how he was about it. I remember that.
But the thing is, it brings, when you realize that you can't fulfill everyone's expectations, a lot of times it brings on depression and anxiety, especially in the holidays.
It gets worse as you get closer too. Yeah.
I recently found out, this is something new. I recently found out that there's a number like 911 that you can call if you it's like a suicide prevention line, but also a lifeline. So even if you just want to talk to somebody and you're not even thinking about suicide, you just want somebody to talk to, you can call this number and they'll answer it 24 hours a day and talk to you. It's the number is 988, and you can call it from any phone, just like 911.
I saw that post you had.
Yeah, I just found out about this within the last week, and I thought this is an amazing thing that should have happened years ago. They should have made a universal number that people can call anywhere at any time and say, listen, I'm at my wit's end. I need to talk to somebody. I'm tired of being alone on the holidays, or, I just can't keep up with the Joneses and it's killing me.
Right.
No,
that's a good idea. Because you don't need to keep up with anyone.
Right.
It is what it is. It's gotten so commercialized, so capitalized.
Right.
It's not. That's always money, buy. Yeah, that's why I don't like the flavor of it anymore. I mean, my wife and I treat it differently. We do stuff that's whatever makes us happy on that day. Food, or we go somewhere.
Well, I just turn around because I live with my son. We live together, but he does a lot for me because I my disability and whatnot. And I just turned around and I was like, dude, this year I have no idea what to get you for Christmas. I have no idea. And he's like, don't worry about it.
Maybe you guys can do something together.
And then I feel bad, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I think that's what we're gonna have to do is like, and the attitudes of people and relationships have changed.
Mm-hmm.
I remember all growing up into my 20s, 30s, even my 40s. New Year's Eve, we would go to my parents' house. Everybody would be there, not just my family, but friends, friends of friends, family friends. Everyone was there. Everyone would stop in at AO from like 7:30, 8 o'clock till 1 a.m. And we'd have a big spread and everybody would hang out. Now nobody does anything. Oh no, I'm just gonna sit at home. I'll probably go to bed before the ball drops. And it's like, well, what happened to people? When
Now
did
that
when did society become so disconnected?
right. Well, that stuff from my family, a lot of that went when my mom passed. So yeah, she was the partier in the family as far as that goes. She, spent weeks making Thanksgiving dinner and, Christmas cookies all throughout December and, New Year's stuff, punches and just all kinds of good stuff, throughout the year. So yeah, we lost all that.
Black Friday weekend, we would always put up our tree. My dad always got a real tree, and he'd always put it up.
Right.
And then the tree would stay up until Mom said it was time to come down, which was, I believe, like the 6th of January, whatever Little Christmas is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the end of January, maybe even February we get
No,
ready
no.
for it.
Little Christmas is always, it's like 2 weeks after Christmas.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we would take our tree down after Little Christmas. At Christmas time, you would all get all your gifts. And then at Little Christmas, you'd each exchange one gift.
Oh, it doesn't show. Maybe it does. It's my brother. Sorry, brother. There ain't no way I'm gonna talk to him, man. Ain't no way. No, it's not the time. Love
Probably
you,
calling
brother,
you,
but love you,
probably
brother,
calling you
but
about all the news, the breaking news that came out.
yeah, no, no, he's my MAGA brother.
So he's calling you to say, how dare they do this?
Oh, I don't know. I could just imagine.
But I we've become disconnected from each other. And it's not just because of the pandemic and the quarantine and all that. It's been happening for a long time that this society has become ignorant to each other. And there's no way to fix it. As the generations come, it gets worse and worse. Family is no longer the most important thing. Now it's, money and jobs and status and grades and, it just, it's sickening sometimes, depressing.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep, quite.
Yeah, I hate bringing people down, but this is what what came to me today was this needs to be addressed. No
Eh,
one, everyone's looking at the broader picture of, you know, inflation, society, politics, whatever, and they're not really looking at personal relationships,
right.
and it's not. It's fun to make fun of Herschel Walker because he wants to be a werewolf instead of a vampire now.
Mm-hmm.
But what about, why don't we discuss the issues that are important, like those who are still living on the streets celebrating Christmas alone or celebrating the holidays alone because no one gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not just their family, but the guy walking down the street who sees them in the tent at night and says, poor slob, and keeps walking. When did anyone ever stop and say, hey, listen, I got some food for you?
Right.
Or, why don't you come over to my place and, we'll get you warmed up, grab you a coat, and maybe you can grab you some hot cocoa or whatever. And,
Right.
It doesn't happen anymore. My mother used to bring home people all the time.
Right.
She carried an extra blanket in her car just in case she saw somebody that needed it.
Right. Right. That's cool.
And we don't do that anymore. We don't care.
Well, I've stopped on the side of the road to help people. I'm more cautious if I do that. I mean, not that I can change anyone's tire or not, but I can certainly give someone a ride. But no, I look to make sure have decent street smarts. Thank goodness for that. I know
You
enough to
know,
be
Albany
pregnant
has
for.
a homeless population.
Oh, they always have.
Why? I mean, why are they homeless? But why are they alone on the holidays when Albany has such a big population that is housed? That somebody can't turn around and say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to rent out, a small place, and why don't the six of you in that, in that little encampment come with me, and we'll get you all fed."
I remember back then people did that. I don't know if
Yeah,
they still do because I don't live there
no,
anymore. But
no, they don't.
really,
No,
that's sad.
no, you'll see tents in Battery Park.
Oh, I see where they trim down all the trees and stuff in potential places where homeless people live.
Yeah, yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And people say, "Well, how come you don't bring anyone to your house?" Because I don't go out. If I went out,
Right.
believe me, somebody would be here right now.
Hmm.
I don't get around because of my disability.
Right.
But I don't have a problem if somebody came to me and said, "It's cold out here." I wouldn't throw them a quarter and say, "Well, get some more change. You could get a coffee." I'd be like, "Come on, let's go. We'll get you someplace warm and get you something to drink." And I'm not a saint by any means,
Right. No, I
and
hear you.
and,
Neither
and
am
I'm
I.
not religious by any means, but I am compassionate by a lot of means. I do worry about other people
Hmm.
instead of just myself, and I think
Right.
that's what we got away from.
I agree totally. Yeah. It's
But
like not
I
even about family anymore. It's about
no,
all the other stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I agree.
My mother, when I was younger, she actually brought an entire homeless family into our house.
Right.
A mother, a
That's
father.
cool.
I think it was two daughters and three boys. Brought him into our house, and they stayed with us for like 2 months until they got back on their feet and could.
Right.
You suggest that now to somebody, and they'd be like, "What are you, crazy? They could kill me.
Right.
They could rob me." Well, so what? Then they need it more than you. Who gives a shit? Yeah, you worked hard for it. Great. But is it going to kill you to lose it?
Right.
To give somebody a chance to prove you wrong? Because what happens if you take them in and they don't steal anything?
Right. And
All
that
they really
you just need to be cautious. You need to keep your eyes open and be just wary of what's going on.
be a
You know.
decent judge of
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I know I've been
There's a way.
rambling. I know I've been rambling and talking a lot in this session, but I don't know. For some reason, it just hit me today. Like, why are we? All right. I saw videos of people laughing at Herschel Walker, and I saw videos of people ignoring how stupid he is,
Right.
and I started thinking, we're laughing at him, but has anyone said, "Dude, you got issues. Why don't you go
Yeah.
see somebody?" You know,
But I've been thinking too that that's probably why they want him.
because
He's
he has
controllable.
issues. Oh yeah,
He's someone they can manipulate to fit the mold that they need, the narrative
I mean,
that they want.
one of the things I saw today was somebody said, I like Herschel Walker because because of his stance on the border, how he wants to close the border and all this, and they asked him, well, what role is he going to play in doing that? And they said, I don't know. It just sounds good. And it's like, okay, so why aren't we saying, nobody's turning around to Herschel Walker and saying, dude, talking about vampires and werewolves and cows mating with bulls in the street.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know what that was all about. That was just ridiculous.
It's not germane to the issue of the job.
Hmm.
Unless his mind is so far gone from concussions, in which case somebody should be taking him to the doctors.
Yeah.
And I'm not poking
He's
fun at him. I feel bad for the guy, really, because he doesn't have the intelligence anymore.
no, he shouldn't be a senator.
He's, you know, he used to be smart when he was in college and when he was playing, he was fine. But as the years went on, something happened to him, and he's not in his right mind.
Right. Well, no,
You
I
know,
agree. There's something going on.
and the thing is,
Yeah.
no one has stepped up and said, "Dude, you need help. Let me help you."
Right.
They've said, "Dude, you need help. Let me make you a senator." Because we all know they have no stress with their cocaine-fueled orgies.
That is true. Don't get me started on him.
But I've been rambling a lot, and I apologize to everyone. It's just I felt it was something that needed to be addressed, and the conversation needed to be started somewhere. And with that being said, I'd like to continue the conversation in the comments below. What are your experiences on the holidays? What are your experiences with homeless people, if any? You know, where do you draw the line? Things like that are worth discussing. And when I say discussing, I mean be nice to each other.
Yeah.
No need to attack each other over that. It's
No.
just.
Besides, those will be ignored anyway. So, yeah. Assholes don't get responses.
So,
But hey, 1 sec before you cut us off. I might owe my brother an apology, but I have a feeling that this message he left on me, hey, I was busy. I have an alibi, okay?
what happened?
No, I could just imagine the voicemail I have right now. But hey, that's okay. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. Next show, I'll apologize. You remind me?
I will definitely remind you.
I'm sure you will.
And with that, I bid us adieu.
Peace.